everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this peppermint candy cane garland. This is so much fun to make. It's super simple and you can make as many of these pieces and make your garland as long as you want. So I'll get into the supplies and then we'll get into making this cute little piece for the holidays. So our house is becoming very festive with all my crocheted pieces here. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing this yarn. I'm using 2 yarns today. This is With Love yarn and I'm using white, and this red color is called Holly Berry, but you can use any red or white yarn, red and white yarn that you want. You can use cotton, you can use wool, you can use this polyester type of yarn, totally up to you. So and then you're going to need a pipe cleaner, or a few pipe cleaners depending on how many candy canes you make, because yep, believe it or not, there's pipe cleaners inside of these candy canes. And then you're going to need an H-sized hook, which is 5mm. This hook I got from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. I've been using these in all of my tutorials. These hand-carved ergonomic crochet hooks are so fabulous with the curve of your hand. It's just so comfortable to use these crochet hooks. So check out the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. Get your holiday crochet hooks. You can get them for gifts or get them for yourself. Also, so we're going to use the H-size hook for this tutorial. Also, you're going to need a yarn needle, and a wire cutter is just easy to use to cut your pipe cleaner. And then obviously, you know, a scissors. The yarn needle will be used to sew things together and sew in our ends and stuff. So those are all the supplies. Oh, and a palm maker. Obviously, we're making a bunch of palms. You can use regular cardboard or you can use an actual palm maker if you'd like. So we're just making these mini palms today. So those are all the supplies you're going to need. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today, and big thank you to my dad for filming this tutorial. Check out all the links in the description of this video. It'll have a link to the written portion of this pattern on YARNutopia.com. There'll be pictures as well, and there's a link to my Facebook, Instagram, my Snapchat username, all that. Follow me on all social media, and if you make this, please share your photos on the Facebook page or even on Instagram. Hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your work. And that's all I have. We're just making these 3 pieces in this tutorial. You can make as many as you want and sew them to a braided string or some type of rope or whatever you'd like. Add it to your Christmas tree, add it to a doorway, add it to your festive holiday decor. Alright everyone, let's get started and make this peppermint candy cane garland. Alright, we're going to start off with the white yarn and we are going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, fold this down, and then pull your long end through and pull tight. And we're going to start off by making the circle peppermint candy first. So insert your hook and we can begin. So let's start off by chaining 3. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3. And in this 3rd chain from the hook right here, we're going to put 10 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that 3rd chain right here, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. Okay, that's a double crochet. So you have to make 10 of those in that chain. So that was 1. Yarn over again, go back in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. There's 2, here's 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see I'm working in a circular form too here. Here's 7. And if you wanted to start it with the magic ring, you can do that and put 10 double crochets in the magic ring. But I just chained 3 here. And I think this is 10. I'm going to count back, make sure I have my 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's 11. Sorry. I did 1 extra stitch. Okay, so you have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to go into the first double crochet stitch right here, not this chain 2. You can see 1, 2. We're going to go into the double crochet right here and slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and through. And now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we are going to double crochet into that same stitch, but we're going to change color. So let's grab our red color right away, so we have it on standby here. And what we're going to do is yarn over with the white, go into the very first stitch with the white, yarn over and pull the white through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops with the white yarn. But leave those last 2 loops on your hook, drop the white yarn in the front of your work. You can kind of pinch it with your thumb here, like that. Grab the red yarn, hook that on your hook and pull it through those last 2 loops. And that is our first double crochet stitch. Now we are working with red yarn. We are going to yarn over, go into the same stitch that we worked our first double crochet in. We're going to go in there. I'm going to work over the top of this white yarn right here that we had pulled forward. We're going to work over the top of that, yarn over with the red yarn. Okay, so we're working in that same stitch that we'd put this double crochet in. Yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops. Okay, pull the red yarn, the working yarn, forward. Okay, kind of pinch it with your thumb here. Okay, make sure everything's tight and secure. And then grab the white yarn that's underneath the stitch here and pull that through, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. We're going to do that in every stitch. So there's 2 stitches in every stitch, and each one is first white, then red. Okay, so yarn over, work over the top of this yarn here, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Drop the white yarn in front, pick up the red yarn, yarn over and pull that through there. Then yarn over with the red yarn, go back into the same stitch, working around this white yarn here. Yarn over with the red, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Drop the red yarn, pick up the white yarn, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And there's your next stitch. So we're just repeating that all the way around. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, working around the red yarn, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Drop the white yarn, pick up the red yarn, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Yarn over with the red yarn, go into the same stitch, working around the white yarn here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, drop the red yarn, pick up the white yarn, yarn over, pull through both of those loops, and there's the next stitch. Has those 2 stitches in it. So each stitch around is going to have 2 stitches in each stitch. The first one is going to be white, the next one is going to be red. Just change color every stitch, okay? And work around your the yarn that you're not using. Okay, so drop this yarn, pick this new one up, and work around this yarn. Okay, so you can keep it trailing with you all the way through this whole pattern. And I'm going to do that all the way around, and when I'm on my last stitch I will come back and I'll show you how to finish this round. Alright, I'm working my last stitch here on this round. So you can see I'm working over my straggler here, working my last stitch, and gotta change color once more. Just like that. So there's my last stitch right there. So what we're going to do is take the red yarn and move it to the back of our work. And with our white yarn, it's pulled through to finish that stitch off. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Just like that. That's cool. So now we're going to chain 1. And for your first side, cut your yarn really long for sewing. But for your second side, you can just cut it short. So pull that all the way through that chain 1 and pull tight. And then you can cut your red yarn as well. You don't need to cut it, you can cut it short. And then if you need to secure these little strands, you can. If you want to, you can tie them in knots in the back of your work. But you don't have to sew any ends in if you don't want to. If you want to, that's totally fine. You can sew in your ends. And since I chained 3 at the beginning, I kind of have this little hole in the center here. Let me grab my yarn needle. You can see there's kind of a little hole right there. Not too big, but I'm going to take the straggler that we used to make our slip knot, and I'm going to sew this end around the base of the stitches in round 1 and cinch it closed. Just like that. And that will close that. Now if you started with a magic ring, obviously you wouldn't have this issue. So there you have it. So now what we need to do is make one more of these. Actually, we're going to make many of these, but we're going to make one more of these and sew it to the back of this. So I'm going to go make another one and then I'll be right back. Alright, once you have 2 of these made, we're going to put the insides or the wrong sides together like this. And we are going to sew around. So we are going to grab our yarn needle and the strand that we cut that's long on one of the pieces. We're going to yarn our needle with that, line up the stitches so the white stitches are matching with the white and the red stitches are matching with the red. Make sure all your loose ends are going to the inside so they're hidden. And we're going to go around. So here, let me get this straggler out of the way. So we're going to go from one side to the other side in the same colored stitches. And I'm only going to sew the white stitches. I'm not going to sew the red stitches because I'm using white yarn. So I'm going to go to this one and this one. And skipping over the red stitches. So going to this one and this one. Next. Just like this. All the way around. And we're not stuffing this because we want it to be fairly flat. So all I'm going to do is just shove the stragglers all to the inside. And that should be stuffed enough. Okay, last 2 here. Okay, so I'm going to shove all these in the inside, make sure they're completely hidden. And these last 2 right here. Okay, and then come to the beginning, sew those 2 again. And then to fasten this off, we're going to go through a couple loops here, a couple stitches. Keep our finger in the loop, and then come back through the loop. And then pull tight. And that secures it. And there you have a cute little peppermint candy! How fabulous. So you can make as many of these ones as you want. As you can see here, I have, let's see, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I made 5 of these. So once you have 5 of those made, we can go on to the next step of making the candy cane. Alright, we're going to start with the white yarn again, and we are going to make a slip knot. Okay, making the candy cane now. We basically are going to make a really long skinny tube, and then we're going to insert our pipe cleaner in there. So insert your hook in here. And we're going to start off by chaining 2. So yarn over, pull through, 1 and 2. And in that second chain from the hook, we're going to put 6 single crochets. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 2, here's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work in the back loops only and in continuous rounds. So if you need to put a stitch marker in there, you can, but we're changing color so often that I'm not going to in this tutorial. But feel free to mark your rounds. This should be the beginning of your round. And this is the first stitch right here. We usually go through both stitches here, as you can see. But the loop that's furthest away from you back here, this is called the back loop. And that is the only stitch we'll be working in for the rest of this piece, okay? So what we're going to do to start off in round 2, this is just a repeat of round 2, the rest of this pattern. So we're going to go in with the white yarn for this first stitch, yarn over and pull through, okay? Hold these 2 loops on your hook, and we're going to change to red. So hook that new color on and pull it through those both loops, and that creates our stitch. Okay, now what we want to do is single crochet. I know it says in 7 stitches, but that's each stitch around and then the next stitch for the red stitch, and we're going to change color, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go into 7 stitches. So go into this next one here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1. Next stitch is 2. Next stitch is 3. Here's 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're all the way around. The 7th one is going to be on the red. So we're going to be right here. So even though we made it all the way around for round 2, the 7th stitch is where we're going to change color. So we're going to go into this back loop of this next stitch here. We're going to yarn over with our red. Okay, we're going to drop this other red in the back. We're going to pick up the white that we dropped earlier. So you don't even have to cut your yarn. You can just trail it along on the inside of your work. So pick that up from earlier, yarn over and pull through both loops. Okay? And we're just going to repeat that for the rest of the rounds. And we want 19 rounds in total. So here's 1, here's 2, we're on round 3 now. Single crochet into, I guess, 6 stitches, and on the 7th stitch, change color back to red. And then on the next round, single crochet in 6 stitches, and on the 7th stitch, change color back to white. And just keep doing that. Again, you do not have to cut your yarn when you change color, because you can just trail it up in the back of your work, and nobody's going to see the inside of your work at all. So there we go, 6, and here's the 7th stitch. We're going to go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, drop this yarn in the back, pick up the red yarn, and continue. Just like that. Make sure everything is secure. And once you get about halfway through, you're going to want to insert your pipe cleaner at that time. It's going to be harder once this piece gets longer to insert your pipe cleaner later. But like I said, you want 19 rounds, or 19 rows in total. You want to, if you started with white, you want to end with white. So just keep that in mind. You can make these as big as you want, but I'm going to end on round 19. Actually, let's end on round 18. I'll show you how to close the top for round 19. So that's what we're going to actually do. So go do 18 rows. Your 18th row will be red, and we'll change color to white for round 19 and close up the top, and we'll have our pipe cleaner in there. So at round, like, I don't know, round 9, I guess, at round 9, I'll insert my pipe cleaner. And then, but I'll meet you up at the end of this. When I finish round 18, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, I just finished round 18 here, okay? So what we're going to do, change color back to white. We're going on to round 19. I'm going to pull this loop up here real quick, and I'm going to cut my pipe cleaner because it's a little too long here. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit shorter. And then what we're also going to do is cut this red yarn because we're done using it. So we're just going to cut it short. Oops, there we go. And what you can do if you want to, we're going to pull this down just a little bit. You can even insert your hook into this loop. Pull this white yarn. I'm going to set it down so it's easier on the desk here. And I'm going to take this red yarn that I just cut, and I'm going to just tie it with that white yarn on the inside. Okay? And then I'll sew that in a minute here. But our last round, we're going to single crochet 2 together. So go in to the next stitch, yarn over with the white. Oopsie, go into the next stitch. There we go. Yarn over with white, go into the next stitch right away, and then yarn over with the white, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's single crochets 2 together. Okay? then we're going to go do that again. So go to the next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through this first stitch, go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And one more time, single crochet these last 2 together. I know it's super difficult and super tight, so you won't be able to really see very well, but just single crochet those last 2 together. So you should have 3 stitches now. And then what we're going to do is single crochet this next stitch, this white stitch here, and the one right across from it, our second stitch. I know you can't see very well, but right there. Okay, yarn over and pull through both of those, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then chain 1. And we're going to cut our yarn right here. Pull it through that chain 1 and pull tight. Grab your yarn needle and sew in these 2 ends that were stragglers here. Just go to the inside of your work and pull it through. And this red one also. Go into your work and pull it through. Okay, then stretch this out a little bit, cut any extra stragglers. Okay, and then curl this top like a candy cane. Perfect. Cute! Awesome. So you can make as many of these as you want and have a mixture of these candy canes and peppermints, peppermint candies. So I have made 4 of these. So you want one of these to be more of something. So we have 5 of these ones and 4 of these ones. Okay, so what we're going to do is do like this. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Then the last thing, I wanted to add palms. You don't have to add palms, you can just sew them on the garland like this, but I want to add a few palms, so I made mini palms like this, and then we'll add those in between each piece, in between each of the peppermint candies. So I have this palm maker. Now you can use a palm maker, you can use cardboard, totally up to you. But I have this cute little macaroon palm maker, and I know I used this same palm maker when I made the teapot cozy. It's a macaroon palm maker from, oh, cat, sorry, she scared me. Hi Jade. Okay. This palm maker, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you guys. This palm maker came from palmmaker.com. I actually won this in a contest, but you can go to palmmaker.com and you can check these cute little macaroon looking ones out. So this is what it looks like. It comes like this. It looks like a little macaroon. And I love macaroons, so. But what I'm going to do is take this apart and I'll show you how to use this. Oh my gosh, the other cat. Okay, I'm going to get my cats out of here and I'll start making my palm. So sorry, everybody. Come on. Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. I got my cats out of this room. But what we're going to do is put these 2 pieces together. Now you can use a piece of cardboard, like I said, and I have used cardboard in the past. But what I'm going to do is just wrap this yarn around. And it's nice because this comes with instructions with pictures and everything on the inside. So you can see, whoopsie, the instructions. Stand that up for you. So you have to put these 2 pieces together and then wrap it. And I'm just going to make white palms. You can make red palms, you can make white and red palms, but I just felt like the plain white will kind of break up a lot of that red and white striping a lot in these pieces because it's a lot of red and white striping. But I'm just going to wrap around, and I've already done this one off camera here so you can see that. So we got to do both of these pieces and just make it, whoops, don't go too fast. There we go. Almost there. Just gonna wrap it around. Okay, so once you have both of the pieces wrapped, you can snip that, put it into this macaroon piece, which is really cool. It just holds it all down and together. And this one can go on this side. And then you gotta put this one in there, like that. Cool, huh? Then you just gotta take your scissors and go along this edge and snip. And it's kind of thick, so my scissors doesn't cut through very thick layers, so I gotta take my time here. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna snip around, kind of trim it to make sure it's all even, and you can do that beforehand. But it's nice because this you can just hold in your hand and squeeze it, and it's not gonna fall apart. Just a really easy to use palm maker. And they make palm makers, like plastic ones or different types of ones. I know Susan Bates has a really good one as well. So, and I think Clover does too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's really good palm makers out there. It makes it super easy for you to make super fabulous palms to add to your crochet pieces. So we have this done here. Now we're going to get a long strand of the white yarn, and we're going to go in the center of this like so. Wrap it around. Okay. And earlier it was easier because my dad was actually like holding this for me, but I'm just going to set it down on the table and tie this in a knot. On one side, just like this, and then I like to just flip it around. Looks like a cheeseburger. Maybe I'm hungry. Looks like macaroon too, but okay, and then tie it again. So you can tie it twice or 3 times. Just make sure that you don't break your yarn when you tie it super tight, and then you can just remove all the pieces. And you should have a fun little palm that you just have to spruce up a little bit and trim any awkward ends that are extra longer. And there you have a cute little palm. How fabulous. So I made a bunch of these. I don't even know how many I made. Let's count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Wow, okay. And I think I have to make another one, but I'm not sure. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put my macaroon away, and I'll show you. Okay, what we're going to do is lay this all out and then sew it to, you can sew it to a string, you can get a thick bulky piece of yarn, which I'm looking at my stash and I don't see anything super bulky right now, but you can use, yeah, there's my giant stash, everybody. It's messy right now. I gotta organize it. That's what's above our studio right now. Yep. Okay. Stop bragging. Our play button. Yes, it is in our studio. Alright, back to the garland. So, we are going to lay this out. Now, you can make as many of these pieces as you want, you guys. So, your garland can be as big as you want. But what I'm going to do is put a palm on either side of the candy pieces, just like this. Okay, obviously this is going to be a little too big for my background, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but this is kind of how it's going to be laid out. Like this all the way across. And we're starting with a little peppermint, so we're going to end with a little peppermint. And then have these candy canes in the middle and have these palms on either side of the candy pieces. So what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, you can, like I said, have a bulky piece of yarn. You can have a braid, which I think is that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut long strands of yarn, like really long strands, and then braid them. And there's braiding tutorials on YouTube, so I'm not going to show you how to do this, but I'm going to grab a braid, really long braid, and then I will show you how to sew it on to your long strand next. Alright, so I've been sewing my pieces on a long braid here, and what I wanted to show you was how to sew each piece on. So the candy cane, I cut a strand of yarn like this, and I'm going into the white stitches right here on the top, and I'm coming back around, and then I'm holding my finger in the loop and putting that through the loop, and then pulling tight, and then sewing this end in. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And then I'm cutting this short. Okay, now it has this strand right here that's going to hang from the garland. So we're going to yarn our needle with the other side of this strand here. And between each piece, I'm like putting like 4 fingers and then going into like the next strand of braid. And then we want it to hang down just like an inch or 2 off of the braid or the garland strand here, coming back through and keeping in that loop here. We're going to go through that loop and then pull tight just like how we did on the candy cane itself. And then I'm just going to sew this into the braid to fully secure it. Just going back and forth and then cutting the extra yarn. And there's that one. And I'm putting a palm between each candy piece, so I'm moving over on my strand here, and I have a palm, and we're only going to sew 1 strand of the palm. So we have those 2 long strands, so I've only been sewing 1, so you can move your 4 fingers over and kind of just guesstimate it, and then bring this up however high you need it, come back through, hold that loop, and go through that loop, and then sew this end in. And then we're going to cut this strand, oopsie, there we go, cut our strand, this one, short, and this one, cut it the length of your palm strands. So right there, and it gets hidden in the shuffle. Awesome. So there's the palm. And then this next one is the peppermint candy. So move over everything and grab your yarn needle. Yarn your needle. You just have 1 strand for this one, so it should be super easy. Make your space, go through, pull it up, back through, hold your finger in there, go through that loop, and pull tight, and then sew this in to the braid, or your garland strand, or whatever you have. Okay, and then pull tight, cut extra, and then start over. So grab a palm. We're putting palms between each piece of candy. So I'm going to put a palm, then this candy, then this piece, and then a palm. Or, I'm sorry, no, this palm here, then this candy, and then a palm last. So I am going to sew the rest of my pieces on. What you can see here, this is kind of what it looks like, and we will be finished. Alright, there it is. I just sewed on the rest of my pieces, so this is what it should look like. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this super fun garland. This was super easy, super fun, and I love the festive look of everything. So make sure to check out the photos on YARNutopia.com and check out the Facebook page. If you make this, please share a photo of your holiday decorations on the Facebook page for YARNutopia. by Nadia Fuad. Make sure to check out all the links in the description of this video. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing this yarn. Big thank you to my dad for filming and editing this tutorial. And big thank you to you for watching. Until next time, please subscribe. Alright, happy hooking.